My name is Fiona, and if you watched my last video, I kind of mentioned just like a few times that I got a job. Your girl has a job. Now I have a job, I can actually pay to get way more of this actually developed. Your girl was very excited. She just wanted to be like a normal person. So very exciting stuff. So I've been in that job for 3-4 weeks. Now I'm there all the time. Also, I cut my hair by myself. I love having long hair. Long hair is so beautiful. It makes me feel like a fairy, but I did not feel like a fairy when I was picking my hair out of every drain. When I was like waking up just like in my own hair, it was shedding everywhere. It was disgusting. I couldn't even get a brush through my hair, so I only brushed it when I was gonna go in the shower. The last time that I went to go in the shower, there was just like this thick knot in my hair, and I was like, I'm just gonna cut it out because I have thick hair and I had a lot of it, so I was like, I ain't gonna miss that much. But then like I started cutting it and it was really satisfying, and then like, oh but now like I'm not a fairy, I'm a pixie now, so I love it. I feel like a new woman. Okay, so I have some stories for you about this new place that I work. Not gonna mention where I work because I signed a contract, and on that contract it says like basically you cannot spill the tea, but like it said nothing about spilling the tea about the people who came into the bar. To be honest, like I like having a job. It makes me feel like an actual adult. It makes me feel good, except for when I'm really tired. I have a few issues with the job that I'm working in, and to be honest, I am looking for another job currently just because the place I work just isn't the safest place. Somebody got slapped last week by a customer, and somebody else got glasses thrown at them by a customer. It's just, to sum up this experience, my paycheck is essentially funded by alcoholism, and morally that doesn't sit with me. It's a very difficult situation, but I'm here today to tell you about a customer that keeps coming into the bar, and every time he comes in, it's just, you know, it's gonna be a weird ass time. You just know. I'm gonna start off by saying, if you've ever worked in a bar as a woman, you're gonna get picked on. Like, for some reason, like the guys, they're fine. Like they still take shit. But I feel like the weirdos who come in, and I am essentially a weirdo, like I totally get this. Like, I don't know if they sense how like emotionally unstable I am, and they just like, they can smell it and they come for me. But for some reason, these customers who are just weird as fuck, I'm sorry, they always latch on to the female bartenders. So like when I first started working there, I was like, I'm gonna be a magical girl, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna help everybody if they need help, I'm gonna make sure everybody's having a good time, everybody feels loved. And like now, like I'm still a magical girl, but like I'm more of a Sailor Mars than like a Sailor Venus, with a little bit of Sailor Moon, because I do cry all the time. People are horrible. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you the story of Mr. Communism. Mr. Communism. Okay, so as I was saying, these weird people always latch themselves onto the girls that work at the bar. I was new, I just wanted to be nice, I was probably too nice, and now I found myself in this situation with a couple of customers that like, they think they're my best friends, and like I'm just there to serve you drinks and take your money, and I feel horrible for that. But like, I'm honestly, sometimes when I finish work, I'm a bit scared, because like I finish work at like 3 in the morning sometimes, like, and I have to walk like to my car, and like these people think they're my pals. Like, are they waiting outside for me? It's a whole like debacle thing. I don't feel essentially safe. But we're just gonna like be all shits and giggles today and talk about this as if like I'm completely fine, I'm not scared for my well-being. Bring it all at me. Got weird friends? Bring them along to my pub. Like, I'm just used to it, not scared for my well-being. I am lying to you. I am terrified for my well-being. I just want to work at Claire's. Like, fucking hell. Lush! Where were you? Where were you, Lush? So, It's like my first day or something. In this bar, I don't only serve drinks, I do serve like food and stuff. So I was bringing out a plate to give to a table, and it was just a man at this table. Put down his plates, and on his jacket I see he has a Che Guevara pin. And I was like, oh, I like your pin. And he looks at me and he says, oh, are you a commie? And I was like, oh yeah, I'll get back to you on that one. So we talked for a little bit and I went back to the kitchen, and then it was like 20 minutes later I was back on bar serving drinks, and he comes up. He doesn't order anything, he just is staring at me, and I'm serving other people's drinks and I'm noticing him staring at me, and I'm like, okay, this guy's like late 50s, 60s. He always wears the most like wackiest shirts. I'm pretty sure one time he was wearing an Alex Jones shirt.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
Hey Alex, can you hear me?
Yeah, of course I can hear you. I just went to you.
Yeah, so first off...
Which, if he wore that on the first day, I would have known to stay the fuck away from him. But like, I was just trying to be a magical girl. I was just trying to make everybody feel happy and loved and just... Welcome to our pub. We're best friends here. No. Somebody, I'm just saying, somebody should have warned me. And this goes on for 10 minutes. And then he comes behind the bar. And I was like, hey, no. So like, I go to see him. I'm like, hi, like, can I help you? And he's just doing that weird stare at me again. And I'm like, I am terrified for my well-being. And he says, do you know who MI5 are? And I was like, yeah, I know who MI5 are. And then he just looks at me for like a good beat. And then he says, do you work for them? Like, all dead ass serious. And I was like, no mate, like, I work here. And he looks at me and he's just like, it's like he doesn't believe me. And then he says, okay, it's just because they know who I am. And then he walks away. And he leaves the bar. And this guy didn't come back. Apparently he was a regular. It was weird for him not to come in every day. And he didn't come back for a good like 5 days. Did I spook him? I don't know. But when this guy came back, he came back swinging. Like, best comeback 2K17. It got weirder. Okay, so he comes back. I've been working there for like 3 weeks now. But the magical girl is slowly draining from me. I am just trying to do my job. I'm trying to get the monies. So he's sitting with a friend and he stops me while I'm like taking out plates. And he's like, hey, my friend has a sore leg. Do you think that has something to do with his brain? And I was like, oh. And I was like, I'm not sure. And he was like, good answer. 9 out of 10. And I was like, okay. And then I come back. And his friend's like, I've known this guy for 30 years of my life and I still don't know what he's fucking talking about. And I was like, okay, it's good to know that like I'm not the only one who's finding this guy really weird. So his friend leaves and this guy, good old Mr. Communism, brings out a folded piece of paper from his pocket and he says, this is for you. He unfolds it. He says, these are my genes. So it's essentially just a pair of jeans with like James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, other like famous film stars on it, on like a dark ass bed. Used the flash. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was expecting to see a dick in one of these corners. And then in shaky handwriting, he's went over it twice. It says, my jeans. And then he signed it. Good old pal Mr. Communism signed it here. AQ. I look at this and I'm like, oh, haha, yeah, boy, that's funny. And you know, I'm supposed to be working, so I'm like, oh, that's funny, I get it, that's funny. And I give it back to him and he's like, no, that's for you to keep. So now I essentially have my very own cursed image. Thank you, Jesus. I've been waiting for this moment my entire life. I put it in a glass wash and I'm like, honestly, like, these people in my life don't believe how weird this guy is. Thank you for the proof. He came in one further time before that before his big comeback to K17, and he came up to the bar and he was like, did you find out? And I was like, oh, find out what? This was when it was all still magical. And he was like, did you find out who Frankenstein's parents are? And I was like, oh fuck, no, I knew there was something I was supposed to do. He hadn't mentioned it at all. And I was like, nah, like, who are they? And he leans real close. Margaret Thatcher. Damn it. So, I was at work last Saturday, Sunday, I can't remember. Something wasn't going through in the system. It was like 3 AM. We were sitting in the pub. It was empty, obviously everybody's home. And it was me and this guy that I work with. And I was telling him about Mr. Communism. And he was like, oh my god. And I was like, what? And he was like, they didn't tell you. And I was like, no, bitch, what didn't they tell me? Oh, I forgot to tell you something. I'm the worst Storytime person ever. He came in after the jeans thing and he said, do you like flowers? And I was like, yeah, I love flowers. Like, who doesn't love flowers, you know? And he was like, sometimes when I'm on my way home, I go to Asda and there is like half-priced flowers like on sale, really cheap. I'm like, oh, that's good. And he was like, I'm gonna get them for you. And I was like, no, like, please, no. And he was like, they're only like £2. Like, I'm gonna get them for you. It's like the least I can do. And I was like, honestly, like, I know you're trying to be sweet. That's cute. Like, tell me that I am the girl you want to give the half-price flowers to. But like, please no. Like, please, I cannot imagine taking these flowers off of you, putting them in the glass wash, and people asking me where the heck they're from. Okay, cut back to the talking. They didn't tell you? Didn't tell me what, bitch? So he was like, there was a girl that worked here before you, blah, 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 blah. And Mr. Communism started talking to her. And he started really freaking her out. And I was like, this sounds familiar. Me? And he was like, yeah, like, she actually quit. And I was like, that sounds familiar. Me soon? And he was like, yeah, he gave her a plant pot. And I was like, oh, okay, like flower theme going here. And he was like, it wasn't just any plant pot though. And I was like, okay. He was like, he had gotten like sweet wrappers and like glued them to the plant pot to try and disguise the fact it was a plant pot, and maybe it was just a giant sweet. And he gave it to her and she felt like really uncomfortable, and he'd also glued bits of like felt on it, he said. And so she put it in the glass wash, and like the managers just came and like binned it and was like, do not touch anything that guy gives you. So like that piece of paper, like chloroform, what? Like, it's not that weird, but yeah, there was this lovely guy, and he still comes in and he's a lovely guy, but he keeps asking me to have drinks with him, and I'm like, oh, you know, I can't, like, I've got to be somewhere. And he keeps saying like, we should do something. It's like, I can't. And he's always telling me that I'm so sweet and my hair is so sweet, and just like that he gets me and we get each other, like. And like, I feel bad because for a lot of these people, them coming into the bar, that's the only like talking they get for that day, and like it makes me feel awful. Hi guys, update. The lovely guy that wanted to be my best pal, yeah, after filming this video I went to work and I was filling up the salt dishes, and he was trying to explain to me that Hitler was a misunderstood guy, and the media tried to portray him as bad, but like not everything he did was bad. Like, he raised employment for Germany, and I was like, yeah, but you would raise employment for Germany when you're sending half the fucking population into camps, right? So yeah, I don't feel bad for that guy anymore, and I'm definitely like gonna stay the fuck away from him. He also has a thing about Charles Manson, says he was misunderstood too, so like, yeah, I don't know. I just, oh, it's a tricky situation. I try to be this nice magical girl in real life, and it just gets me into shit. Like, I love people, I do love people, but just there's a limit to how I like people, and when I feel like they're taking the piss with me, like, I gotta cut it off. And that's what I'm like, I'm learning boundaries right now. Bit late, but I am very naive, so better late than never. I forgot to say also, have you ever had like boundaries issues with your job or just in your professional life or just life in general? If so, how did you deal with those? Because I need your tips, please. And I want to hear your stories too, because it's nice to know that I'm not alone in being naive. But yeah, if you want to be my friend, be my friend, and if you want to subscribe, subscribe. Also, my Instagram, thefionaadventures, is very cool just now. Trying my best at it. And Twitter, @NancyWheelers, because Nancy Wheeler is my girlfriend. No boy is good enough for her, please. Please tweet Netflix and tell them that no boy is good enough for Nancy Wheeler, and therefore Netflix has to bring me in as a character to be the one and only Mrs. Nancy Wheeler. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. Goodbye.